Video on how to make a pot of coffee. I'm just using my regular house coffee maker to demonstrate this. Sometimes on the boats you'll have a bigger industrial one that drips coffee really fast. It makes a pot of coffee in almost no time, it seems like. So the first thing I want to go over is your water. Sometimes the boat water isn't always potable or drinkable. You should find that out first before you start making coffee with it. Most of the time, like in the case of my boat, the water's okay. If you're a purist, you might not think that water is as good for coffee as it could be. See if it's run through filter. For a while on the boat, when it wasn't real good, we were even trying to use bottled water, and we didn't notice any difference. So maybe our taste buds are dead. But you're going to want a pot full of water, and you're going to dump it into that reservoir. And just, I'm going to dump it slowly. All right, I'm just going to set this on the burner out of the way for now. Now to talk about the coffee a little bit. This coffee's ground now. If you have the time and you have a grinder, you're probably better off buying whole bean coffee. It's going to taste a little fresher than if you buy the already ground stuff. A lot of purists will tell you this too. They'll say, oh yeah, you have to have whole bean coffee and you're better off even having your own roaster. Well, if you have room for that and you have the time to roast your own beans and make your own and grind your own beans, that's great. If you don't, you're going to go through so much coffee that it's probably not going to matter that much. But that's my opinion. If you have the time to grind your own coffee, then grind the beans. So now the big question: how much coffee do I use to make a pot of coffee? Well, everything I looked up, because I've always just done it by eye, and a lot of them will say 2 tablespoons of coffee for each cup. Well, I don't know. I use a tablespoon, a heaping tablespoon, and I'll do between 5 and 6 of these. That was a smaller one, but so to me that looks like about the right amount. It's about 5 good ones and one smaller one. So about 6 heaping tablespoons with a big regular tablespoon. I don't exactly measure it. I think it's probably better to always put too much in than not enough. If the coffee's being drank really quickly, then no one's going to notice that big of a difference. They'll just say this is kind of strong, then just back it off by 1. And if they say this is kind of weak, then you just increase it. But I think it's always better to make stronger coffee. So now I'm going to put the filter in there. I'm going to close it up. On this one I'm turning it on. Now the coffee pot's on. So the thing to know about coffee is once it starts brewing, most of the newer pots you can take it off and put it back on, but you're better off just waiting until it's all the way done. Some pots will continue to drip when you take the pot out, so you need to be aware of that and make your crew aware of that if that's the kind of thing to know that a lot of coffee snobs will tell you is if they don't like to leave the coffee in the pot, they'll put it into a thermos to keep it warm. That's not so feasible, at least on my boat. There's nowhere to put it, and the coffee's usually we go through a lot of coffee, so it's not a huge issue. But if your coffee is sitting on that burner for too long, it will start to taste burned and gross. So if you start noticing that after an hour or so it hasn't all been drunk, then make another pot and just keep a fresh pot on. You don't want that coffee to be sitting there for 2 or 3, 4 hours. And even if it's full, it's not going to taste any good. So for the coffee to brew, I thought it was kind of interesting. I got this mug for Christmas. This is the Edward H. that works on the Great Lakes. And there's a story about it. It used to be called the Forney. and it was built in 1944 in Louisiana for the Army, and then it was acquired by Michael E. Ohard and renamed the Edward H. and continues working on the Great Lakes. So if anybody knows about this boat or has a picture or whatever, leave a comment down below. It's kind of a neat mug. Pot is finished. I think that looks like a pretty good color. So there you go. That's all there is to it. Let me know if you have any questions down in the comments below. I just thought I'd show something basic in case there were young guys doing this that had never made a pot of coffee before. So thanks for watching.